Hi guys, my name is Mark and today there's kind of another review or a review different to them you normally watch on this channel. It's about the monitor, it's about the AOC Agon Pro model, the AG344UXM. UXM stands for what? I mean 3.4, you may imagine it's like a ultra wide or wide QHD or Quad HD display type. It's 21:9 in form factor, so in display factor, and it's basically the only mini LED with a BOE display I found on the European market, and that's also the reason why I will review this now. Let's go, guys. As I told you already a little bit, today we will talk about this awesome monitor from AOC. For who is it awesome? Not for competitive gamers. So if you're watching for or looking for a very competitive monitor because you want to play any game competitive, this is not your video. This is more for people who are about nice displays, mini LED IPS with a lot of dimming zones, with good brightness, good clarity in picture on a wide QHD, so 2K picture. And I basically got this panel by, how can I say, by posting some stuff on Twitter, because I saw or realized that BOE finally made it to the European market with AOC, and I'm glad they did. BOE is basically another brand besides AOO, LG Displays, Innolux and some others. BOE is more like a player in the terms or in field of competitive price and good products. It's not the ultra competitive high-end product they deliver like AOO is focusing on or needs to focus on, because AOO is becoming lately very expensive in panels in general, and they do those 530 Hz TNs, 360 TNs, 3 different versions, 360 Hz, 2K, which you know from the AQN, and they do 2 more. One is mini LED and one is normal, which is releasing end of or in the start of Q3 this year. And basically I can tell you already that brands like Innolux, CRT and BOE, maybe LG too, depends on how they perform in future, will be the most spreaded display, or can become the most spreaded displays in terms of good values and good performance, I would say. If you're into something in the mid-price range but with a high or very good performance, these panel drivers or these panel providers will be in your displays for sure. Regardless of the brand you are buying, I think this is the go-to in future. And now you ask me, who's BOE? BOE is basically one of the, or a long-term partner of Apple. Most of the old or even of the Apple products right now, OLED and other stuff is made by BOE. And that's where they gathered or gained their experience from, where they built up how they just managed to get big. They were able to have a 5 or over 470 Hz display already in the beginning of 2022 on Full HD. They also had set it up and people played it on finals of Dota, I think. And lately they also, 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago, they reviewed 2K with over 500 Hz, and yeah, that's what they're doing. But a lot of this stuff, for example, is super sampled or rated, so it's not real 570 Hz, for example, but that's another story. Just to show you or let you know what is BOE about and who are they. And you can Google about them, and I think TFT centrists have some more detailed, more informed articles on their page. That's also where you can gather some information about this brand. And so we are coming back to the monitor. The monitor is, as I said, mini LED, 21:9 resolution with 170 Hz and with 1 millisecond in reaction time. 1 millisecond in reaction time is possible the real best thing you will ever see. One thing at first, we tried to measure the gray to gray scale and the overshoot with our LDAT But it was not possible because we saw like, or we had always the same problem, regardless of which setting we drove, regardless of which hertz, of which brightness, which energy mode, which cable we used, which graphics card, everything. It was like that the luminance, so the brightness, has too high jitter. It was up to 1 lumen jittering. And the problem is, when it jitters 1 lumen, we can't make, or the LDAT can't make an exact measurement. That's one big problem. The only exact measurement we were able to do is measuring end-to-end latency and the display lag, so the display latency itself, which is 3.4 milliseconds, compared to RQN or 2566K from BenQ, which both have 1.4 milliseconds. This is kind of not competitive, as I told you already, as I also think this is not a competitive monitor. So keep this in mind if you are looking, or maybe you decide to play this and you want to play like Valorant, CS or Apex, and you ask yourself why you may not perform the same as on your 360 Hz monitor. The reason is you're not on 360 Hz, your lag is way higher, and the end-to-end latency compared is like with a GPX, so with a G Pro is 12.9 milliseconds compared to 6.5 milliseconds on a competitive 360 Hz monitor, just to show you the values. So basically the end-to-end latency from click to shoot is double as high as on an actual competitive monitor. And you should have or keep this in mind when you decide to buy this. So for me, the audience or the people who may buy or want to buy this monitor are like content creators, streamer, who are more about having a great immersive picture with a good luminance, so with a good brightness, nice colors, good pitch of the scale on the monitor, a wide picture where they, for example, have a good view in games like, I don't know, Star Citizen, for example. Some other games like Horizon, and yeah, some stuff where it not really matters how many FPS or how close you are on the monitor, because it's not about the last milliseconds. It's more about the fun of the game, the thing that you want to enjoy, what you're doing, what you're playing together with your community, or when you're recording a video, or you're live on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, wherever. And I think that's the main market for this product. And for this market, it's a very top-notch product. You can drive it with HDMI and DisplayPort. We drove it with DisplayPort. And it shows it accepts USB-C 2. We tried to use it with an Apple Thunderbolt, so in general USB-C, and we also tried to use it with normal USB-C. It was not running for us, and also not with the USB-A to USB-C cable. We found no way to run this with HDMI, no problem. There's also an option to unlock the HDMI above 120 Hz, which is also a very good move, very great. Never saw this, to be honest. Good performance. DisplayPort also 170 Hz is also for this size, and panel type very good. There are not many mini LEDs out there, and this one was released in August last year. And I also have to add that I have this monitor since February here, and I directly played it when I got it, and I realized one thing. I set it up, everything was totally satisfied. Picture in Apex was great, totally wide, very immersive, awesome picture. Okay, it was 170 Hz, I don't care. And one thing I realized then is like the biggest problem is when you stream, that if you use a one PC single PC stream setup, no problem. You just need to rescale the picture and all the stuff to 1700 something XX. Normally the new OBS does it for you, but when you do a dual stream setup like I do with an Elgato, I have the 2K, so the 4K 60 MK2, so the latest one you could buy, and I also have the Camlink Pro with the 4 inputs. I tested everything. The problem with Elgato is, as long as you use a standard edit mode from Elgato, so a resolution scaling or a resolution set by Elgato, which is basically the monitor you add to your system, to your game PC, which is the monitor you clone this display onto. you will have some huge problems because Elgato not natively or in general has a setting which is accepting this resolution as it is exactly 3440 by 1440 pixel. There's no way Elgato will accept it. You can try to do a custom edit mode. And if you do so, you will run into another problem. It will only accept low hertz, as Elgato is only accepting 140 or 144 hertz on the standard WQHD format and only 240 hertz on full HD. Everything above is like 60 hertz. And the other problem is you can't use pass-through then if you want to play HDMI with pass-through on your Elgato. So you have again to use two HDMIs or one DisplayPort, one HDMI, and then you will run into another problem, which is basically that you will not be able to stream normally with this monitor on a dual stream PC. Keep this in mind. If you use something like NDI or another record tool which is processing your picture over the network or over USB-C or whatever, no problem, because it's basically just transferring the data. So you record it here and send it somewhere else and it gets decoded or encoded, whatever. But if you use this with your graphics card to an Elgato, it will not. Basically, there will be a fix for sure, but it's not very easy. Just keep this in mind if you are a content creator and you want to buy this monitor and you're watching this one right now. So in general, I can say for the price, for the 1,200 euro roughly, which it is right now, it's the only mini LED in this region with this scaling, with the feature set, so with everything around the monitor and how it performs available. It's, yes, it's not comparable to an OLED, yes, it's not comparable to an VA panel, which is way cheaper. Also at the end of the year, Samsung will switch the display manufacturer for the Odyssey series, which you don't know from me. You never heard about this. And that's also different because VA is not performing like this. And this is more made for immersive, great pictures with good background, colors, lighting. As always, I recorded it in German already, and when I look at even when I look at my bar here on top, and I remember, you see, I switch it from, you see this from purple to white? How bright it is? It has HDR 1000. It's really bright. It's mini LED with over 1,150 dimming zones, and that's the main or unique selling point of this monitor. 170 hertz, mini LED, nice colors, nice brightness, 110 ppi pixel pitch, and that's also the thing or the reason why you should buy this. I would not use adaptive sync or G-Sync compatible or anything on this monitor. Be aware of this, don't use it. It may sounds good or looks good, or in general a feature some people will advise you to use it. Don't use it, it's not working probably. I tried it, and it's also kind of useless in my opinion, because if it's not native, G-Sync native, it makes no sense. That's my honest opinion, and you know you always get honest opinions here and informations, and yeah. This is not a board review, and that's why it's kind of mixed. I'm still thinking that's a very good display for a very good price, in my opinion, because of the size and what you get. But I'm also saying that is for a person like me who still wants to play a little bit competitive, or let me say it this way, on the technical edge of the possibilities. Therefore, it's the wrong pick. If I would be like, I think 10 years older and I would play Tarkov, I would go for this one, pretty sure. I think the clarity missing in Tarkov could be better because of just using a monitor like this, because of the pixel pitch and how good the picture is and how bright, you know. Pretty sure it will do the work it will work very well on games like Tarkov. So at the end, I have to say, thanks to the marketing team from Philips and AOC in Germany, or I think it was in Germany, the German team. Thanks again for sending me this. And yeah, I hope every one of you guys enjoyed it. And if you have questions, put it down in the comments below. I try to answer them as soon as possible and as good as possible. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Goodbye, guys.